Most people think rich people got lucky. They didn't. They just stopped doing what poor and middle class people do every single day without even realizing it. Survival mode isn't about how much money is in your bank account right now. It's a pattern. It's reacting to every bill, every emergency, every unexpected expense like it's a 5-alarm fire, because you never built the habits that would let you see it coming. Today I'm breaking down 5 habits that wealthy people practice without even thinking about it. None of these require you to already have money. None of these require a 6-figure salary. They require you to change what you do on a normal, boring Tuesday. Let's get into it. Habit number 1. They pay themselves first, before anything else touches their account. Here's the order of operations for almost everyone stuck in survival mode. Paycheck comes in, gives rent, bills, groceries, debt payments. Treat yourself gives whatever's left, usually nothing goes to savings. Here's the order of operations for someone building wealth. Paycheck comes in, gives. A fixed percentage moves to savings and investments automatically. Same day gives, everything else gets paid from what's left. That's it. That's the entire habit. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but this single reordering is the difference between someone who's broke at every income level and someone who builds wealth at every income level. Here's why it works psychologically. You cannot spend money you never see. If the transfer happens automatically the moment you get paid, your brain adjusts your spending to the new, smaller number that's left. You don't feel deprived because you never experienced having that money to spend in the first place. Compare that to trying to save whatever's left. There's never anything left, because your spending will always expand to match what's available. That's not a willpower problem. That's just how budgets behave when they're not given rules. The mechanics: set up an automatic transfer for the same day your paycheck lands. Start at whatever percentage doesn't break you, even 5% counts. The goal right now is the habit, not the amount. Send it somewhere slightly inconvenient to access, a separate account, a different bank, a brokerage account. Friction is the point. Increase the percentage every time you get a raise, before your lifestyle has a chance to absorb it. People in survival mode treat saving as the thing you do if there's money left over. Wealthy people treat spending as the thing you do with what's left after saving. It's the exact same set of numbers, in reverse order, and it changes everything. Habit number 2. They know their numbers cold. Ask yourself how much you spent on food last month. Most people will guess. Ask a wealthy person. They know it within a reasonable range, because they actually look. This isn't about being obsessive over every coffee. It's about removing the fog. Survival mode thrives in fog. When you don't know your numbers, every expense feels like a surprise. Every month feels unpredictable, and you make decisions from anxiety instead of information. Wealthy habits around money are boring on purpose. They know their monthly burn rate, the baseline amount it costs to keep their life running. They know their net worth, even if it's negative right now, and they track it over time instead of avoiding it. They review where money went at least once a month, on a set day. They separate fixed costs from flexible costs so they know exactly where they have room to move if needed. Here's the part most people miss. Tracking your numbers isn't a punishment. It's how you find the money you didn't know you were leaking. Subscriptions you forgot about. An insurance policy you're overpaying for. A pattern of stress spending on weekends. You cannot fix what you refuse to look at. And survival mode survives on not looking. Because looking feels scary when things are tight. Pick one day a month, 30 minutes. Look at every transaction. That's the whole habit. It gets easier every single time you do it. And after about 3 months, it stops feeling like dread and starts feeling like control. Habit number 3. They build income, not just a job. Survival mode runs on a single point of failure: one paycheck, one employer, one source of money. If that one thing wavers, layoffs, a bad manager, an industry downturn, everything collapses at once, because there was never a backup. Wealthy habits treat income like a portfolio, not a single bet. That doesn't mean everyone needs to start a business tomorrow. It means shifting how you think about your time and skills. Tier 1 skill stacking. The fastest, lowest risk way to increase income is to become more valuable at what you already do. Learning the one adjacent skill that makes you irreplaceable: a marketer who learns basic data analysis, the mechanic who learns diesel systems, the assistant who learns automation tools. Usually pays off faster than any side hustle, because you're monetizing time you're already spending. Tier 2, converting a skill into a second stream. This is freelancing, consulting, selling a service on the side, tutoring, anything where you're trading a skill you already have for money outside your main job. It's slower to build but doesn't depend on your employer at all. Tier 3, owning something that earns without your direct hourly input. This is the tier most people picture when they hear passive income. And it's also the one most overhyped. Almost nothing is truly passive at the start, but over time, a rental property, a small piece of a business, a content channel that earns through ads or products, a portfolio of dividend-paying investments. These are assets, not just labor. Assets are what eventually let you trade time for freedom, instead of just trading time for a paycheck forever. The habit isn't have 5 income streams by Friday. The habit is asking, on a regular basis, what's the next rung on this ladder? And what's one small action toward it this week? Survival mode says I don't have time to build anything else. I'm too busy surviving. Wealth building says the reason I'm stuck surviving is I never built anything else. And then does something small about it anyway. Even tired, even imperfectly. Habit number 4. They spend like their future self is watching. This is the habit that quietly sabotages almost everyone. Because it doesn't look like a mistake in the moment. It looks like a reward. Lifestyle inflation is the natural pull to upgrade your spending every time your income goes up. Bigger apartment, nicer car, more takeout, until your expenses always rise just as fast as your paycheck does, no matter how much you earn. This is exactly why some people making 6 figures still live paycheck to paycheck, and some people making half that have a growing net worth. It's not about the income. It's about the gap between income and spending, and whether that gap exists at all. Wealthy habits protect that gap on purpose. When income goes up, they increase savings and investing first, and only then decide what, if anything, gets upgraded. They distinguish between things that compound, skills, investments, paid-off debt, and things that just disappear the moment you buy them. They're comfortable being under-consuming relative to their income, especially early on, because they're optimizing for the next decade, not the next weekend. They ask one question before bigger purchases: does this buy me freedom later? Or does it quietly cost me freedom later? A reliable car that gets you to a better job is freedom. A car payment that locks you into 60 months of needing your current job is the opposite. This doesn't mean never enjoying money. It means being the one who decides where it goes, instead of your spending automatically rising to meet whatever you make. The whole goal of leaving survival mode is creating a gap between what comes in and what goes out. Every dollar of lifestyle inflation closes that gap right back up. Habit number 5. They treat financial education as non-negotiable. Nobody is born knowing how compound interest works, how taxes actually function, what a brokerage account is, or how debt interest compounds against you the same way investment interest compounds for you. Schools mostly don't teach this, which means everyone starts from zero. The only difference is who decides to close that gap and who doesn't. Wealthy habits include a constant, low-key investment in financial literacy. They read or listen to something finance-related regularly, not obsessively, just consistently. 15 minutes here and there compounds the same way money does. They learn the rules of the game they're playing, how their retirement accounts actually work, what their employer match is worth, how their tax bracket actually functions. Most people overestimate how punishing the next bracket is. They ask questions instead of pretending to already know. To a more experienced friend, a forum, a professional, anywhere. Pride is expensive. Curiosity is cheap. They understand that financial confusion is profitable for someone, usually whoever's selling the confusing product. The more you understand, the harder you are to take advantage of. This habit is the multiplier on all the other 4. Automating your savings only works well if you understand where that money should go. Knowing your numbers only helps if you know what good numbers look like. Building income only compounds if you understand how to deploy it. Financial education isn't a separate hobby for finance nerds. It's the operating system the other 4 habits run on. None of these 5 habits require you to have money first. That's the part survival mode tricks you into, believing that you need money to start, acting like someone who has it. It's actually the reverse. The habits come first, the money follows. Pay yourself first. Know your numbers. Build more than one stream. Protect the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Never stop learning the rules of the game. Pick one, just one. Start this week. Survival mode doesn't end with a windfall. It ends with a Tuesday, where you did one of these 5 things instead of what you did yesterday. If this helped, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.